Annyeong, it's Mikey here, and today we're coming back to Mikey Techs. So this is my gaming channel. Now I'm bringing a new keyboard to you guys, and it's the Kalon60. Now I say keyboard because there's two variations of this specific case. One, you can get the MX kit and do a mechanical keyboard build, or two, you can just use the case itself and build yourself a Hall effect keyboard. That means I actually got the MX kit with the Hall effect keyboard adapter, so I can do both. We're going to do the Hall effect only on this channel, and then my other channel we're going to be doing the mechanical keyboard side. So I'm going to be doing two different variations of this video. Hopefully this helps you guys to see whether or not you want to get this case for Hall effect, and then you can go check out the other channel for the mechanical keyboard side. So let's go straight into the unboxing, but please make sure to like and subscribe. Now introducing the Kalon60. So this is going to be an interesting one because it's going to be split into two different videos like I mentioned. Also, I'm doing a giveaway, guys, so keep in mind, go check out all the videos I'm doing. If you leave comments, you can get entries into the giveaway. The instructions are on my Discord channel, links will be in the description. So this is going to be the carrying case that you comes with. They do provide you the MX PCB. Like I said, I have the MX version. The F44 plate is going to be for the HE, so keep in mind. I know they're both white, but one is a PP plate, which is more plastic, and then F44 is going to be a thicker plate. Now, you do get all these different pieces, which is going to be the standoffs for the plate and the HE PCB. If you have a HE PCB, usually with the Wu-Ting, so you're going to need it for the Wu-Ting. Depends on what kind of HEPCB you're using. You also get these O-ring mounts, and you also get the gasket mounts. Now this is the Kalon60 case. I think it looks incredibly beautiful. I actually really love the design of this. Now some people aren't going to like it. I understand. It's a personal preference thing. I just really like how the back design came out. Now it is a ball catch system, so it's going to be very, very easy to take apart and put back together, and I think that's one of the nice things about this case. Now overall, it has the adapter there. So you can see here, it works with GH60 PCBs, which means it'll work for a lot of the 60% Hall effect PCBs out there. Now, the weight of this case is going to be 800 grams. So it's not a very heavy case, but let's see what else we can do. Now, keep in mind, I'm going to be using the Venom PCB for this. The reason I'm doing this is because I actually recently got it while I was on my Korea trip, which we have to thank Gion for. Gion provided it, and I really wanted to try out their new RGB PCB, so might as well put this together in this specific case. Now, it's going to work for the Wu-Ting as well. Just keep in mind the Wu-Tings actually can fit a little better with their plate that they provided. The Venom is not a perfect fit for this. So I did the stabilizers first, which you can see here. So I screwed in the stabilizers. I used the Knight V4s for this build. I personally think screw-in stabilizers are way better to use than plate mount for HE builds, or any builds in general. It's going to provide just a little bit more stability with the plate and keep it in the place that it needs to be, which I think is a lot better. Now, overall, there is going to be something that I noticed later, which we'll see. I'm going to be using the Union Ice Shine switches because they've been really one of my favorite ones lately. I think the sound-wise, they work really well with pretty much most builds out there, and they sound pretty decent. And not like your usual HE switch, which is just too hollow. They are a little bit more on the poppy side though, so some people might not like it in terms of that. So we finished with the switches that we put into the plate, and as you can see here, building it HE wise is actually very, very simple. There's not too much difficult parts to it. I do wish though that the plate had more options available, like the 7U, as well as even like a split right shift. Just pretty much what you would get with, say, a MX plate. I think in general, HE plates need to be a little bit more cut up and open, kind of like MX, and really should be thought about more in terms of that aspect. I think right now, HE plates and HE builds aren't fully there yet. I know the switches aren't there either, but I think we can really start working on, say, case-wise designs, as well as plate designs to really improve how HE can sound. Now, as you can see here, all I have to do is plug it in and boom, it's all good to go, and it's easy, very, very easy to put together. Now, what keycaps am I going to use? This is going to be the SWG Swag Keys rubber keycap set. This was done by Manu Keybs. So Manu designed the keycap set, and I love this set. It looks incredible. Works with a lot of different designs and different cases out there. So this is something that I wanted to use for this build. Now, it is supposed to be a ABS keycap set, but depending on which version you get with it. It's going with the PBT blend, which I think works for this one because I do have the PBT blend with it, and it's going to sound pretty nice with this whole build. Now, you see here I took it out for a second. It's because the enter key was not working well. This is a specific thing that I was mentioning earlier, that the enter key stabilizer in terms of the plate, screw-in wise, doesn't work. They say the clip-ins will work if you use clip-in stabilizers on the enter key, which is, I think, not great. So that's what I mean by the cutting out of the plate needs to be better for this one. These are small things that I think really stand out in terms of making a plate design and making a overall kit just a lot better. So this is something I really do hope that they can work into and fix it. Honestly, I really would love to see this plate just be able to do a lot more things and be open to a lot more different layouts and different versions possible, especially because there's so many different new HE PCBs that are out there that can do a lot more. Now, we did the HE build for this. It was very simple. You get one plate and it's going to be FR4. I used the Union Ice, but we'll also do different switches in this build to see what the sounds like. Overall, it sounds really nice as an HE board. Like, you have to consider I'm not using any foam right now on this, and it sounds really nice. Now, I would have honestly loved it if I could have done 7U spacebar and be able to do like a split right shift to be able to try this differently. I think overall for HE, 7U actually sounds a lot nicer in a case than 6.25U does. Now, overall, super easy. Like, the HE side of this board is super simple and it sounded really cool. We're gonna have to, of course, go into the sound test for you guys to hear what I heard, but this is what I built it out of. So this is the SWG rubber plus the case, and using the Venom 6.25U RGB PCB, which we have to thank Gion, because Gion provided me that PCB. I'll do a review of the PCB as well. I think the Venom is getting very popular and it's supposed to be one of the most stable PCBs, so we're gonna have to really see how that PCB stands up, which will be another video. But let's go into the sound test and see what this is like. Overall, the foamless side wasn't great for every single switch. Nova's really did not work well. I think the raws weren't great either for the foamless for this specific case, just because it was a little bit too scratchy and the spacebar wasn't working well. I do think that 7U would have helped a lot with it in general, but the ice shines did work quite well. I think the ice shines foamless with this Kalon60 case sounded really nice, but we're going to be trying some foam. Now, foam isn't included in this kit. I actually got it from Toronto Keyboard Man. I actually had one lying around, so I actually wanted to use their foam to see just how good this case can be and how can it sound. Now keep in mind, it is a Wu-Ting foam, so it doesn't fit well with the Venom, but you can make some cuts here and there to really fix it and make sure that it fits. One thing else to keep in mind that I didn't show in my building section is that you really want to screw in the plate to your PCB. Don't forget about that, because otherwise you could mess with the stability of your switches in terms of HE. Now, as you can see here, I'm making the cuts that I need to make it fit with the PCB, and I have to even do it on the middle foam as well.
this is just me wanting to make sure that it fits everything and get everything correct. So I want to make sure it doesn't affect the stabilizers, affect the switches while I am doing and using the switches with this specific build. And then we will actually hear the same switches that we tried foamless with the foam in this specific board. But overall, very, very simple process, and I'll link it in the description below because you can also get it from Keybay or Toronto Keyboard Man, and you can build this board with foam for your HE kit. So overall, the foam did sound good. Now the gasket mount does make this board easy to build in for HE specifically. You can see there it is gasket mounted, which I think is the best mount for HE. As you can see, the cable adapter there makes it easy to build with GH60. I had to use plate mount stabilizers there because these screw-ins didn't work. Keep in mind, if you use these O-ring mounts, you aren't going to be able to use certain PCBs with this specific case, like the Rocca, but overall, the design's great. I think the pricing wise, it is a little bit pricey, right? It starts at 226 USD, and you do get an option to put in brass weight if you really want to, which I actually think the brass weight would make it a lot nicer. I personally like it, and I like having a heavier board in general. Now there is going to be different colors, 4 total: gray, red, silver, and lilac. I think the black really looks amazing, so does the red. The red is actually really cool. I love the look of it. Now, this is what comes in the actual kit. So if you get just the case, it's going to be O-ring accessories, gasket, feet, USB adapter, and then the plate for Wu-Ting carrying case. It says you also get bottom case foam, which I didn't get, so that's why I used the foam kit from Toronto Keyboard Man. They also have the MX PCB version, which is going to be a lot more added in, and it goes to 299, so about 300 USD. For the price difference of about 70 bucks, I think you do get a lot more by getting the actual MX kit from it. And in general, I think for the HE wise, the case does make a very good sound, especially if you add foam, even foamless. I do think that they should fix the plates though.
My overall thoughts on the Kalon60 for the HE build side is that it is a really nice case that sounds really nice. I do think for 226 USD, they should have added a foam kit. I think a foam kit should have been just automatic because a lot of HE users like to have the foam, and a lot of the HE switches out there are mostly based on building it more like a foamed, thocky build than it is clacky foamless. Now, the board itself does sound great. I think it does sound good, and you could definitely look at this one, but it is pricey. The price makes sense though. It is multiple parts. That means you have to cut multiple pieces to be able to make this, and the design overall is incredible in person. The quality of the case also is very nice. I do think they should have added the different plates and made sure the cutouts would have been easy just to do O-ring build or a gasket build with one simple like choice of whatever you want to do, 7U or not. There's many custom PCBs out there for HE, and it just would have been nice if they considered all of that. So hopefully designers listen. Hopefully they make some changes before the final product goes out. You should go check it out for yourselves. The foam kit that I used is available on Toronto Keyboard Man or Keybay. You can grab that for yourselves as well. if you are doing a build and maybe not this one or a different build, you can go check that out. I'll have the links in the description. Come join the Discord channel for the giveaway. And of course, check out the other videos I got. And I'll have to catch you guys next time.